Ophiuchus. It's been a while since we dropped in with each other. I'm here to give you a Supermoon series wildcard read straight from the hip with lots of lit. And we're going to take a deep dip into the depths of this ocean of the collective that's kind of swirling about. I feel like you're really about to rise up from the depths of the collective consciousness. I think you've been swirling about in this collective consciousness. You've been picking up a lot. I feel like you're kind of going through a bit of a spiritual rebirthing process. I felt really called to work with the Arcane Bullshit deck for you all, okay? And so I only get called to work with this deck when there's something a little bit deeper that's going on, a little bit difficult to articulate in day-to-day terms, okay? So I do feel like you're going through a really cathartic experience. There's also a storm that just blew through here. It's really wild because just a moment ago, the winds were kind of picking up and there was lightning. There was a lot of thunder. We have like severe thunderstorm warning out here in the Detroit area today. So we just had one round of it kind of blow through, but even though I see the light appearing up ahead, I'm getting there might be one more round coming through, one more storm coming through for you, Ophiuchus. It's for purification. It's for cleansing. It's necessary for cleansing. And just as I said that, there was like rumble of thunder in the distance. I don't think this one's upon you yet. I think you kind of went through round one, Ophiuchus, all right? Maybe you went through round one with the first supermoon that kicked off what is going to be 4 back-to-back supermoons in this cycle. That one came in on July 3rd. Okay, so maybe during that holiday weekend here in the States, maybe you had something come through for you. Maybe there was something that brought some kind of tower, you know, there was some kind of revelation. I feel like it's a revelation. I feel it was like a revelatory tower. It's like you finally saw something for the first time. I think you're in the process of shedding your old identity, like your old self. There's something that you saw about yourself that you realized was really destructive. And you are now in the process of transmuting this behavior, this pattern, this belief, this perspective, this way of moving through the world, this way of relating. I feel like you've really been doing a lot of alchemy work. Some of you have been doing workings, you know, you've been working with spiritual practices to help you transmute these energies. There might still be a layer of purification involved in those workings, in that spiritual work. You are being recommended. What's just kind of coming through is that if you have been doing some kind of spell work, now is the time to sort of like wrap it up. You might need to wrap it up. Like it's time to wrap it up. It's time to actually do the work instead of doing the workings. Ooh, interesting. Almost like really embodying it in your day-to-day earth walk, you know? It's time to root it in reality. Time to stop, you know, kind of hanging out in the ethereal realm and now follow the directive of what comes through as a result of these workings, of these prayers, any kind of spiritual work you've been doing. Now it's time to really apply it. You know, that's what's coming through. It's time to apply it. It's also time to wrap it up if you've been doing any kind of workings. Also clear away the energy. That's coming through very strongly. You know, make sure that you're earthing any remnants of any spell work. Make sure that you are offering it up to some running water. Yeah, you know, there's something here about there's a lack of clarity because there's still some energy from old workings, old spiritual work that needs to be cleared out here. This may not be for everybody, but it's coming through for somebody. And so I want to bring this through. This especially applies if you're anybody who does any kind of psychic work, if you're a reader, if you're a channeler, if you work with energy healing, you know, anything where crown chakra, third eye is front and center in what you're doing. You really want to make sure that you're keeping your channel clear at this time. So you're hearing what comes through correctly. With this error 404, that's like sight not found. Okay, so it's like you might find like sometimes the connection feels a little garbled, or you're having some issues with just deciphering what's coming through. I feel a lot of this really applies to like your own life though, like how the guidance comes through in relation to you. There might even be this piece that if you're a reader, you see other people really clearly, but there's something that you haven't been able to see in yourself, and now it's being illuminated for you. Very important to keep like the channel clear. Okay. Interesting. For those of you who have YouTube channels in your readers, very important to keep your channel clear. You might want to do some warding of your channel, you know, work a bit with that cyber magic, you know what I'm saying? Like, just put some protection around your channel and just ward against that kind of outside energy, that troll energy, you know, people who kind of come in and, you know, try to stir up doubt in what you're bringing through, you know, whether they're showing up on your live chats or in the comments, you know the energy I'm talking about, where people are just, you know, trying to interrupt others from being able to receive your messages. Okay, you might need to do some warding, just you know, put up a, you know, as you shield yourself and ground yourself, shield and ground your channel too. There's no reason why you can't do that, you know. Something about this, you know, there's like outside energy, whether it's in your environment from workings you've done, or whether it's just people that you're dealing with who have an issue with not really respecting your gifts. This energy too, yes, you know, we got here the golden retriever, and this is really reminding me, notice the key here, this is reminding me of Papa Legba energy. It's like keeper of the crossroads energy. I think you're at a crossroads. I think that your road opener is coming. I feel this very strongly, all right? But there's this piece where, especially if you work with Legba, there's this piece of, you know, pay me, okay? It's like you need to pay Legba to get the guidance. You need to pay Legba to get the key you need to open the door, you know, to get through the crossroads. You know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. This is super important, all right? Because that's when we kind of give birth to a lot of chaos in our lives with a chaos mom here, all right? So this piece is very important. It's like chaos can be used as a creative force. Chaos gives birth to stars, right? It is creation in motion, but there's a way to channel that energy creatively where you can birth new beginnings. And there's ways that you can channel that energy that's destructive, right? This is something about, it's a key to move you forward, okay? If you feel like you're dealing with like kind of some, you know, upheaval in your life, or if you're just now getting your bearings after there's been a tower and you're starting to see the light up ahead, you know, like I said, there's one more storm coming, but it's like it's for purification. And if you are able to really get your own like channel clear, if you're able to get very clear, very rooted, I feel like you're going to be able to use this energy of this tower in a way where it is creative, like you'll birth your new beginning through this. It opens up your road. It's like a blockbuster energy. I feel this. I also feel it's like this next purification, like tower, it's purifying you as a channel. so that you're able to bring forward what wants to come through you. All right. And there's a way that you can ride that out, you know, where it feels creative and it feels expansive. And there's like a certain kind of like enthusiasm in it. And you know how to like really ride that current, right? And there's a way that can feel disruptive. And there's something here. There's something here about being mindful of not biting the hand that feeds you, you know, to work with this creative energy. Ooh, this is very interesting. I didn't notice this. Like the tail here almost looks like a worm. And the worm is making me think of the Norse concept of, oh, I can't remember the name of the deity, but it's very similar to Ouroboros energy, which is very interesting because, you know, you are the snake charmer, okay? But there's something here with the worm energy specifically, but it's in Norse tradition, and they believe in this like earthworm deity that it surrounds the world, okay? It surrounds the world, and it has, you know, its end in its mouth, just like the Ouroboros has its tail in its mouth. And so I feel like in order for you to grow what you're looking to grow, what wants to come in for you, because I do feel like there's something that's like germinating beneath the surface, and you want to ensure that your harvest, you know, comes through. You want to ensure that you have that harvest, that there's this growth in what you've been nurturing, you know, and what you've been germinating. It's very important that you do some kind of digesting work. There's something here that still remains to be digested. And until it is digested, it could block the birth of this new beginning for you. So there's something here about there's some kind of debt to settle. There's something to be paid here. All right. And I believe that that's what this next tower is. It's coming through. It's not just clearing the road within you, opening you up as a channel. And I also feel it is a bit of that like spiritual rebirth energy. You are really casting off the past in such a powerful way where it's almost like you can't even relate to that past anymore. You can't relate to your old version of yourself. I feel like with this particular supermoon lunar cycle that we're looking at, which started back on July 3rd and will culminate on August 1st in the sign of Aquarius, you are really stepping into this Aquarian energy, okay? A lot of expansion, a lot of expansion. And when we're looking at that, you really stepping into the Aquarian energy. I also have to look at the piece of the role Pluto has been playing in that Aquarius house, you know, the 11th house, where we're looking at the World Wide Web. We're looking at our connections. We look at our community. We look at our friendships, you know. And for you, on all these stratums of being, there is something that is really germinating here. I feel like it's just below the surface. It's about to break through. Ooh, I just saw the tower like rising up out of the earth. And then the lightning comes. Ooh, that is deep. There's something really deep in your roots that's awakening in you now. I feel like there's the more like feral, wild wisdom is awakening in you right now. Maybe, oh, I got so much sentience right now. Like maybe a lot of you have kind of focused more on the ethers, particularly if you do any kind of spiritual work, if you do any kind of healing work, if you're working with any kind of like prayer work, you know, I feel like, especially psychic work, you know, you might be really used to drawing the energy down, but how familiar have you gotten with drawing the energy up? There's something about this, you know, really getting in touch with drawing the energy up and like merging the two energies right in the center of you, as above, so below. This also opens the road. I mean, when we're looking at the coins here too, this is a key, right? The coins are that pentacle energy. They are that pentacle energy. And the earth energy is very much like mama energy, all right? It's that feminine energy. And when we're looking at, you know, the upper realms, we're looking at father energy, masculine, you know? It's about marrying that masculine and that feminine within yourself. There's a need for you to connect more with the earth, you know, and to really acknowledge, you know, the spiritual support that comes from the earth. I feel like a lot of this has to do with being loyal to your bloodline, loyal to the spirituality of your bloodline, loyal to your ancestors. There's a key here, okay? There's also discovering some of their magics, you know, maybe that takes you out of what has felt maybe chaotic. Maybe some of their spiritual practices, they haven't felt really rooted. Like it feels like there's just something that's missing. And yet I feel there's this piece that's coming in that is about the more that you connect with the roots, the more you tap the roots, the more you're able to use that energy as a creative force, the more that these downloads you get, or however you're working your path, whatever alchemy work you're doing, there's this real point of transformation with it, where now you do things in a new way. You're really wielding the creative force in a more masterful way. All right. We're going a little out there right now, okay? And it's just the way it wants to come in for you, Ophiuchus. So we're going to ride it out, okay? But you are in a very fertile time, okay? We see this here with a uterus with feet, right? You're in the process of birthing something. I also feel that where you may have been very focused on the bag, and notice the phallus is there in the bag, okay? And that's also the father element. Look what I was just talking about. Look at the wings on there, the air. It's making me think of like mojo. Like you look at all the mojo as kind of like coming from above, you know, within you, but there's a piece that's missing. And maybe for some of you, this is in relation to working. So the spiritual work you're doing, you have to remember the other component of that, which is the earth. And also, as you give to spirit, you also have to water the roots. You know what I'm saying? It's roots with wings, you know? It's one big tree. And I just saw an image of the druid tree of life, you know? It's like this grand oak. Its branches spread up high and its roots descend down below, and it's surrounded, you know? It's surrounded by this great orb, you know? And I feel like, you know, you are that tree of life in the center of that orb. And that orb extends, you know, around all of creation. And so it's like, don't forget your feet. You're all focused on your wings, but don't forget your feet, okay? So there's something about really working on the grounding. There's also something about really nurturing the feminine. Oh, I just noticed this. Look at this uterus. Doesn't that look like the Ace of Cups there? Look at this vision awakening, this vision. It's a creative vision that wants to be birthed through you. And yes, it's descending from above, but look, don't forget your feet. You're meant to root this creative vision in your material reality, you know? This is moving out of the position of feeling like you're just a pawn, you know, like you're just kind of like at the whims of fate, and you don't really have the power to shift your reality in the way you want to see it shift. And for some of you, this may be in a very tangible way. You want to open up a certain door of opportunity. You want to level up. You want to see growth in your finances. You want to see growth in your business endeavors. You're also wanting to see growth in your connections. You want to be able to trust people again. Some of you feel like it's been a lot of chaos, you know. You haven't known who you could trust. You haven't known who you could trust. Maybe at times even you've been a little aggressive towards people that you actually should trust, but because of your fears, because of certain betrayals, because of certain chaos you've been through, maybe stuff that came into your life as a tower that brought you right back to like a really young part of yourself. You had a certain sense of distrust awaken in you that's actually prevented you from receiving abundance. Some of you may have had challenges even with your connection to spirit or your intuition, you know, feeling like you got led astray, you know, maybe having a feeling of like that, that full energy with the dog nipping at your heels. Like maybe you feel like you got bit, you know, you got bit, you got a warning bite. Ooh, okay. Maybe you did get a warning bite. Maybe you were heading in a certain direction. Maybe you were being loyal to something, a situation, someone that actually is not in alignment, you know. You had to get bit. The tower had to come. Yes, it had to hurt to like wake you up. Pain wakes us up, you know. I feel like you want to be able to open up. You want to be able to trust again. You want to be receptive to this, you know. A lot of you is coming through relationally as well. A lot of you is coming through sexually as well, just intimately wanting to feel like you can trust, like you can open up this part of yourself again. There have been times when it hasn't always felt safe to you. There's been times when you felt like a pawn in somebody's game, used, manipulated in this way, okay? I feel like there's a cleansing that wants to come through, all right? But it's really about aligning your energy, not just with, you know, the ethers, not just with spirit, not just with, you know, Akasha, but also with the earth, with Gaia, you know? Remembering that the earth is what supports you. And it's wonderful to have all of the focus, you know, on spirit. That's beautiful, but it doesn't mean a darn thing if you don't, you know, keep your feet on the ground. Because if you don't keep your feet on the ground, you can wander off into the alfalfa. All right. So I feel like there's some things that are being purified here. You might be experiencing just the tie up of like some kind of chaotic energy that was stirred up by some workings, right? I'm really picking up there's a lot of you that are practitioners, you know, you're alchemists, you're root workers, you're magicians, you know, you're on that path. You know, you're working with your spirituality, even if you're working in the realm of just really feeling connected to spirit, even just through prayer. You know, there's something here. There's something here where you're really like, you know, you're very much in a process of expanding in that connection. And there's this piece here about some old stuff that was kind of put in motion maybe before you had this sort of new awareness. I feel like you've come into a new awareness and it feels very spiritual. Okay, it feels very spiritual in basis. It absolutely informs your day-to-day reality, your relationships, your work, all of these things. Of course, it's all interconnected. And your body is the bridge between that, you know, so that's connected to this process too. But I feel like there's a lot that you're purifying in this next stage, this next tower that comes. It's a purifying tower. And I feel it's like a revelatory tower. It's sort of like the blow your mind kind of tower. And it's almost like realizing how much what was obstructing you in all areas of life, okay? What was obstructing you in your sense of clarity, what was obstructing you in your relationships, what was obstructing you in intimacy, what was obstructing you in your work, in your ability to really generate the abundance and the vision you have, because I feel like a lot of you have a vision for how you're wanting to move forward in the future. And you felt like you've been coming up against blockages. You felt like you've been working with people that you can't trust. And there's been a lot that's kind of disrupted, you know, that sense of your grounding cord. And maybe you did really turn to spirit for that support. But the spirit's saying, hey, man, you need to remember to, you know, root it. You need to root it. It's so important. You need to earth it. You need to clear up the old spiritual workings, clear out that energy. Don't have this old energy hanging around from the past cycle. And there's also this piece about really being mindful of pouring into yourself, what you're pouring into yourself as well. And I feel that has a lot to do with food and drink. You need a lot of water at this time, right? A lot of water at this time. Less caffeine, more herbal chais, more herbal teas, you know, making like solar waters, you know, where you just get different fresh herbs and you put them in a glass mason jar of water, and you let it sit out in the sun. You know, it's like clearing out like the old sludgy shadow energy of the old cycle, but also physically, you know. And just listen to your own intuition in regard to like what you need, you know. Yeah, pull down that information from spirit, okay? But utilize the earth, utilize the herbs, you know, the things that grow from the earth. You can even infuse with certain crystals too in these waters. And Herkimer diamond has been coming in very strongly. Herkimer diamond is wonderful for transmuting lower vibrational energies. This is a Herkimer diamond right here, okay? So it helps provide great clarifying energy. It's great for clearing out the chakra system. And you can use Herkimer diamonds in water, okay? It's safe. You don't want to just put any crystal in water that you're going to drink, because not all are safe for that, okay? So you want to make sure before you start experimenting with that, that you are aware if it's safe to put certain crystals in waters, because some can be toxic. For example, selenite. You do not want to put selenite in water and imbibe it. That is toxic, okay? But Herkimer diamond is safe. And there's something about this, like making up your own, like cleansing waters to cleanse you internally. It's going to prepare you for this rebirthing energy. I got so much sentience for you right now. There's a clarifying of your energy coming in. I also feel in terms of your romantic relationships, and also with Venus retrograde energy about to come in on Saturday in the sign of Leo. There's also something that's being cleansed away in your old relationships as well. You might be having some kind of transformational healing occur in a situation that was at one point very chaotic, but there's something that's being cleansed here. There's a new perspective in this situation, all right? I like that with the waters too. The waters are about emotions, okay? So I feel like you're doing a lot of emotional cleansing right now, but there's this piece about really to connect it with your body, like your physical body, embodying it. So you might want to do something like this, you know, putting in different herbs, you know, fresh herbs, and maybe like a Herkimer diamond in there and some water, charging it up, you know, with the sun. You could even leave it out, you know, with the moon as well. We are in a waxing moon cycle. Let it also be fed by the moon. Maybe each day you can make yourself a blend, you know what I'm saying? Then you can have this like solar and lunar energy feeding this and feeding you, washing through you. And that also allows spirit to like come through clearly for you. Your spiritual guidance, your higher consciousness is able to come through more clearly as well. Herkimer diamond is also great for the third eye, okay? So if you're ever feeling like you've got some cloudiness, or you feel like your intuition's garbled, or you feel like you're picking up too much outside energy from the collective, especially if you're a reader, especially if you're doing reading, on the World Wide Web, right? Because it's a whole different ball game when you're working on that level than when you're just tapping in on your own, right? There's a lot of outside energy that can come in. This can be very helpful, okay? Also, it's very clearing for crown chakra, all right? So this coming in as an ally for you very, very strongly, right? But I feel like there's also a need to kind of like clear out energy of old lovers, right? As well, you know, just from your sacral chakra. So I'll put some resources for you that will support you in that. I'll pin it in the comments of this video. But I feel like something new is about to be birthed within you. Yeah, look at this. I didn't notice this. Look, there's like this little formula. Maybe you can use that water if you gather it. You know, you can keep kind of a water building, right? As we move through this waxing moon cycle. And then you can have it like fully charge up with that super moon in Aquarius on the 1st. Wow. Potent, okay? Maybe you can use it like in your own little blends, you know? Use that moon water, moon solar water, balance, masculine, feminine. Now, as I bring in this piece, I also have to bring in this piece about half price hot wings. Okay? There's this, you know, sort of like message here about you got to like raise the vibration, and it is coming through about raising the vibration of the foods you're eating. Don't just grab something because it's convenient, you know, it's fast, it's easy. This can clog the channels in more ways than one. It can clog the physical channels, which are going to affect your vitality, just how you're feeling, your energy levels on a day-to-day basis. It also clogs the channels of the intestines. We don't want to get the intestines backed up, okay? Because when we're looking at the physical body being a reflection of, you know, your emotions, your mental state, your spiritual connection, your life experiences, the intestines are all about fear, right? So if you have backed up intestines, if you've got old plaque in your intestines, then you're dealing with old stuff that you haven't let go of, that's coming from a place of fear, not being willing to release, still trying to control so much. That's going to get in your way, all right? That's when you're going to notice there will also be a lot of resistance and moving forward into the unknown, into new experiences, really stepping into the potential of this cycle. It was 3303 on the clock with that, okay? 33, power number for you. This is a building block for you. If you felt like you are being called to step into something bigger, you know, and this can be any kind of leveling up in your life. It can be leveling up in terms of your relationships. Maybe you've dealt with a lot of half-price hot wings. You know what I'm saying? You're tired of sides. You want the full meal. You want the whole enchilada. Maybe you're tired of, you know, sexual connections as well with this filthy mattress where, you know, you're just dealing with all these rats and these seagulls. You know, I think of rats and seagulls. I think of scavengers. I also think of like mine, mine, mine. You know, maybe you've been dealing with people too that their energy is very hungry, you know. I still feel like you got some untrustworthy energy around you, and Ted just said yes, you know, that still it's hungry for your energy. And these could be people that you've had some kind of intimate connections with. This is also interesting too. It might be time to get rid of that filthy mattress. Might be time to get rid of that bed if you're still holding on to a bed that you slept with the past lover in, okay? Because that energy lingers, all right? So it's about cleaning up your environment too. You know, look at old things that you're holding on to. Also, you know, try to eat more fresh food, okay? Less spoiled food. Because I'm just noticing this rat here is eating like, you know, something old and moldy on the ground here, right? Yes. Yes. This is also about being mindful of before you lay down to rest, that you also clear your energy before you go to bed at night, okay? Maybe you're so tired at the end of the day, you don't even think about that, about the quality of your state of being before you're allowing yourself to kind of go to sleep. You know, you think about it, when you go to sleep, you're also more open and receptive, like your subconscious is more forward. So if you feel like you've also been processing a lot of old stuff in your dreams, or maybe you've had even some nightmares, or if your sleep's been really disturbed, it could be because, you know, there's too many energy attachments, okay? You might want to do some shielding before you go to sleep. You might want to have a little quiet time before you go to sleep. Even just like a half hour, you know, before you tune in, maybe turn off the electronics, you know, get that energy out of the way so the channel can become clear, you know, put a little shielding around you, a little bubble of, you know, intention, okay, before you tune in and turn in. Because when you turn in, especially if you're experiencing, you know, an awakening of new clairs, if you're feeling sensitive, and I do feel like you're moving into this expansion, okay, there's new gifts awakening in you, and you're also more tapped in than you usually are. But there's a need to ground the energy and being mindful of really keeping the conduit, the channel clear, keeping the channel clear, okay? These things are really important. You may find that you are a lot more tired too as this happens. You know, they call that the slows, right? At least that's what I call it, okay? The slows. It's like right before you get a really big download coming in, a real opening of a new spiritual gift, you can get real tired, okay? You need extra rest. You may feel even like you're kind of sludgy, like you're moving through sludge. Even more reason, okay, to practice good, you know, good nourishment practices, you know, nurture your body with really nice, you know, fresh food. Don't go for leftovers so much, all right? Cook in smaller amounts. Make yourself some fresh food. And if you're really busy during your day, and that's a stretch right now, you can still make yourself, you know, one meal a day, whether that's to start your day or to end your day. It was 37:37 on the clock as I bring this in, where you really sit down and you nourish yourself and you give gratitude to the earth for this food, and you allow yourself to experience the nourishment of that. Because again, don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? It's like you ask for spirit to provide, and spirit is providing through earth. So this is the other piece you need to have gratitude for as well. I think a lot of you are looking at your health. I think there's a lot of you that are looking at health from the angle of not only, you know, how you're feeding your body, but you're also looking at your health in terms of the health of your relationships, and how healthy are your intimate connections? How healthy are your sexual connections? Some of you may have even had concern around this area, but one thing that's coming through very strongly for you, you're about to go through a rebirth, okay? And you're about to experience a lot more lightness of being with this balloon energy here. But, you know, if a balloon gets too high in the atmosphere, what happens? It pops eventually, right? It pops, and then it leaves like this mess behind, this environmental mess behind. So again, look at the food, okay? So there is this piece, you know, about also appreciating and acknowledging and connecting to the earth. And this is what lights the way forward for you, all right? And it's also about being mindful of the sooner that you can let go of control, right? Really close out the old cycle, clear out this old energy, do this purification work. And in some cases, you're doing it very practically, okay? In some cases, you're doing it very practically. You're letting go of like an old relationship, an old career path, an old mindset. You know, for some of you, even an old image. You know, maybe you haven't let yourself like dress the way you like to dress, or, you know, maybe your job required you to like dress a certain way. Now you're moving into more of a career direction where you have more freedom of expression. You know, some of you, this is creatively, you know, but I feel like you're really like being asked to revamp something and do it your way. You know, there's a lot of innovation energy coming in around you. And there's also some major like inspiration that's coming through for you as well that plays a large role in you leveling up in the future. I feel like you're doing something in a new way, and it's very much connected to, you know, your downloads. 4044 on the clock. Like, this is a big building block in what you're manifesting right now. But there is stuff that you need to close out. You know, there's still stuff that you have to close out, and this is what that tower is about too. It's a purification. There's still something that you're holding on to that you have not released yet, and it's holding you up in the bardo. It's holding you up at the crossroads. Some of you, it's happening mentally, okay? It's like an old thought system. It's an old belief system. It's something you need to unlearn. It's a faulty way of viewing yourself or viewing another or viewing your situation. For some of you, it's just the old story. You know, you keep telling yourself you're not willing to let it go. You're not willing to just say, okay, you know, I don't like how that went. But rather than trying to just continue to wrestle with this, I'm just going to release it and trust that everything that happened back there happened the way it needed to, and that something new wants to fill that space, okay? Some of you, it is resistance to releasing like some emotional state you're really invested in. Like maybe you're really angry about something that happened and you won't let the anger go. Or maybe you feel really sad about the way you were betrayed by somebody, or the way you were kind of cast aside by somebody. It hurts still, you know. You feel like you got something to prove, and even in feeling that you have something to prove to this person, or that you want them to see your worth or recognize this in you, whatever it is, whatever point you're trying to prove, or even if it's just wanting them to feel sorry or wanting to acknowledge the hurt they caused, there's this piece about, as long as you can continue to focus on that, it's like keeping you stuck there. You don't allow the tower to fall. The sooner that you can just accept the way things are at this point and really come into the present moment, that's what opens the road. But see, this is what needs to be transformed here. And this is old, man. There's something you're still holding on to with death in reverse. 4311 on the clock. 711, okay? 711, it's time to come into alignment. You gotta let this go. There's something you need to cut off. There's something you're not seeing. Look at how the scythe is driven through the eye there. There is something you are not seeing. And it's once you let this go that what wants to be birthed in you can come on through. Yeah, a lot of you are holding on to, if you're masculine, you're holding on to like this old identity of like, you know, alpha male. I need to say what goes. It's my way or the highway. You're trying to force things to be the way you want them to be. You're trying to control everything. 4401 on the clock, okay? That ain't going to work. That's not the way forward. If you want to have a new way forward, if you want to move forward clearly into your alignment, 4411 to 4413 on the clock, step into true power, you have to yield, okay? You have to let go of this. It's not until you let go of your need to control that you'll really embody what it means to truly be in your power, okay? It's about the trust fall, man. You got to release control here, right? You can't operate like this anymore. It's not going to get you anywhere. All right. You may be feeling really angry. You may be like a pit bull. You may be like a dog with a bone, you know, just unwilling to let it go. I mean, that's the thing with pit bulls. When they bite down on something, they got like lockjaw, man. Good luck getting it out of their mouth if they don't want to release it. And you're like that with something here. right? I'm picking this up for the masculine very strongly. For the feminine, you know, I feel like this is how you're looking at the masculine, and you're viewing all masculines as being very aggressive, that they're very controlling, you know, that they kind of like just run roughshod over you. And because of that, you're not allowing yourself to really receive what you want. Some of you are really wanting to receive that love, you know. It's so funny because how it comes in the gravy funnel. It's a little lewd, I have to say. I do have to bring that in. It is a little lewd. I'm picking up the carnal vibes, okay? And again, you know, what are you taking in? You know, there's some kind of lifestyle that you're wrapping up. There's some type of quality of connections that you're wrapping up. Maybe you were the type that you used to really like that, you know. You liked the person who was, you know, a bit elusive. You liked the person who, you know, wasn't so easy to catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you liked the person that kind of would put you on the back burner because of something to prove. You don't realize like you were actually working something out in those connections that goes really deep. Ted just said yes. It goes back to your childhood. It goes back to a faulty way of viewing yourself, you know, where you feel like you have to earn somebody's affection. You know, you found those people desirable because you were working something out through these people psychologically, but you're due for an upgrade now. You're going to see this. The lights will turn on in the room around this. It's going to be like mind-blowing. It was 4711 when that came in, 1111, okay? With that Aquarius supermoon on the 1st of August, that's when your tower is going to come in. I really feel that something's going to happen in your life that's going to have you seeing things a whole new way. You're going to realize it's a whole new world, and that you're the one who's been keeping yourself stuck back in what you feel has been chaotic, stressful. It's because you've refused to let go of it. You've made it too much about the other. You haven't realized that what needs to shift is you. And as soon as you realize this and you see this, oh, here comes the gravy. You got like spirit pouring in the gravy. I see this like it's a gravy boat, but it reminds me of like a magic lamp, you know, those wishes. It's all pouring into you. Look at that beautiful balance. Is there something that needs to be balanced in the masculine for you, Ophiuchus? Okay? Regardless of how you identify, it don't matter. It's just energy. We all got masculine and feminine, regardless of how we, you know, view ourselves, you know, regardless of whether you feel like, yes, you know, I was born a woman, I feel like a woman, or whether you identify, you know, as a gender different from as you were born. It don't matter, you know. It don't matter at the end of the day, because we all run these energies, and there's something in the masculine that needs to be healed here. There's something in the masculine that needs to be transformed, and it's about allowing it to be safe for the masculine to be that provider. But how can the masculine provide for us if we are blocked, closed off to the masculine? Then how do we ever get to experience the sheltering aspect of the masculine, the loving, strong, protective, you know, aspect of the masculine, if we are looking at the masculine as this? Right? Okay? Masculines, you may need to really work on, you know, softening a little bit. Unclench that jaw, you know. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to be so rough with it, man. You don't have to hold on to it so tightly. As long as you just like relax, you know. Again, roosters are real cocky. You know, they are. They're real cocky. They're loud. They, you know, they kind of like own the joint. They throw their weight around. You don't have to be like this. Like, you know, put a cork in it. Maybe you've also been kind of like complaining, like, why is everything, you know, like this? Why is everything stuck, man? Why am I stuck in this cycle? Like, I just wanted to get to the gravy, man, because it's all gravy, baby. Everything's better with gravy. And it's like, Spirit's like, well, if you would just, you know, stop complaining for a moment, and if you would like let it come on through, we got it all ready for you, you know. We got your secret sauce, you know. We got your secret sauce. I do feel like there's also an inspiration that wants to come on through for you, okay? Once you clear this channel, there's an inspiration that's going to come through for you that is your secret sauce, okay? It'll have everybody talking about you. Those of you in business, you know, those of you that are, you know, really doing something new, innovative. You're going to get some inspired vision that comes through for you, that winning idea, right? But you got to like allow yourself to receive it, okay? You can't be in that active energy so much, all right? You can't force something to move forward. You can't force a chariot forward, right? In traditional tarot, the chariot, the driver doesn't have any reins. They ain't driving it. They gotta like step aside. They gotta step aside, let inspiration, let spirit come on through. And there's something about, there's too much of this, like, you know, too much of the combative masculine relationship. However that is, whether you're dealing with a really combative man in your situation, in relationship, in business, you know, within your family, or whether, you know, you're dealing with that within yourself, like you're trying to control things too much, all right? You're in the role of always providing, taking care of everybody else. You never let yourself receive, you know, you never let yourself be provided for, protected, you know? There's something about moving into that energy where you can let yourself receive. And regardless, whether you're ready or not for it, it's going to come on through. And I really feel like it's coming in for you with that supermoon on the 1st of August in Aquarius. So, yeah, bottom of the deck energy, the king. Look at that. It's about having the courage. Look at that lion energy, the Leo energy. Some of you may be dealing with a Leo. Leo came in before. This is about you really transforming the past, okay? And really understanding what it means to be in the masculine in a balanced way. So masculine is able to, you know, provide without being overly controlling, without being authoritarian, okay? Some of you have been dealing with Emperor in reverse energy. You may have been dealing with an Aries or a Taurus, okay? Emperor in reverse energy. These signs coming through. When I bring in the signs, it's any strong placement, all right? But there's something that needs to be transformed here, and it's not going to be transformed through force. It won't. There's no way to transform something through force. Some cases you do need to cut something off, you know? Maybe you need to release a relationship. Maybe there just is no way to force this thing to come together, and there needs to be acceptance around that. And in other cases, it's about understanding that what is needed for healing in a situation can't be done forcefully. Because if you think about it, when we think about the Strength card, it's the Empress, right? And it's interesting, right? Look, the Empress symbol, that infinity symbol is on that Ace of Cups, okay? Maybe, you know, this new beginning is with an Empress, okay? Empress also represents Taurus, okay? Empress represents Libra as well, all right? We've got Libra in the South Node right now. So your new beginning is rising up out of something in the past with that coming in there like that. But the thing with the Strength card is the Empress tames the lion. She, ooh, look at that. Yes, there's something here. Look at 8th house energy. This is the infinity symbol again, but look, it's in reverse right now, okay? Definitely, yeah. there was the blender was on the other side of that. Okay, something's really like, you know, not in balance right now, and something needs to be balanced so you can come into balance with another. But first, there's something you need to transmute here. I feel like it's something you're letting go. You can't transmute. Oh, and here's the itsy bitsy spider that is crawling right now. I've had this spider, right? It's come up in my reads recently. One day it descended down. The next day it was going up. It was ascending. Okay. Today it has created a web. It has created a cosmic web of creation, and it's attached itself to my lighting. It's attached, and right now it's heading toward the light. I wish you could see this. It's just the tiniest spider. So I feel like you're about to create something, okay? You're about to burst something into being. Something's going to be illuminated for you with that Aquarius supermoon on the 1st of August, all right? But there's something that needs to be released to come into alignment with this, and you might need to release it with a certain level of sensitivity and gentleness. This could be around a Leo. The Empress, when she transforms the energy, she doesn't do so with force. She tames the beasts, the burden from the past with compassion, all right? And I really think of Aesop's fables and the story of removing the thorn from the lion's paw. And there's some kind of hurt here. There is some kind of injury here. And there may be a price to pay, like some kind of karmic balancing that needs to happen in this situation. And it was 56:44 on the clock when I said that, 11:44. There's so much synchronicity about this. It's so crucial in order to manifest your new beginning. 56:56, 11:11, because I feel like you got a new beginning. I feel like you got a new beginning in love, but there might be something from your past that has, oh yes, we have like breakup. Yeah, this is an old relationship. There's something in the past that still needs to be cleared away so you can open up this door of opportunity. This is a key for you, okay? All right, let's get an overarching theme for you, Ophiuchus, in relation to this with a super awesome future deck. Yes, rats. You have some people that have not been supportive of, and this is the second time you had rats come up, all right? These are people around you that have not been supportive in you moving forward toward what you want to move forward toward. Some of you have experienced blockages to get in the bag. You know, you've had unfair competition in business. You've had interfering elements just from maybe even people trying to keep an eye on what you're doing. They want to, you know, bite your style. I would say in that case, you know, this is why you kind of got to do things a little more stealth, right? But there's also people here who are, you know, causing issues for you. Maybe they don't want you to move forward toward what you want to move forward toward, and they're trying to keep you stuck in the past, all right? So you got some people here that you might not be able to trust, and you might need to look at clearing away these connections, because these people are all about what they can get away with, you know, what can they run off with, and you need to be mindful of that. It's kind of got like user energy, all right? And this could, I mean, I think this is what the Tower is about. You got House here, all right? So House of Lies is coming down, all right? House of Lies is coming down. This Tower is going to fall. And this Tower has something to do with realizing like who or what has been working against you from getting your goodie bag, man, because something is meant for you and you got a new beginning here and Spirit wants to pour it into you. But you can't get this secret sauce, okay? You can't get this secret sauce until you first like clear the channel, and that's on every level, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, not only in your body and in your home environment, but also in your social circle, the people you're interacting with, and what you're holding space for in your life. But you do this, and that super moon in Aquarius is going to bring in a big blessing that's just going to pour right into you.